have our board meeting. It's about 6 or 7 hours home. Usually what I do is I go a couple hours after the board meeting, and I have a hotel that I like to stay at on the way home, and I stay there. So now it's morning. Happy Father's Day to everybody, and we're gonna do this a little different. This is part of my life. This is part of it being on a trip. I had people ask some stuff about me, and I figured, what the heck? Let's do it this way. So we're doing it this way. I'm on the road. I'm on the Corridor 80. This is and if you can look out the window and stuff, this is the green part of Wyoming. I think Nebraska gave us some of the green part along the Corridor 80 because most of Interstate 80 is not so green, and it's starting to turn yellow. And yes, we are in the summer, but welcome to this part we're in what's called the high desert, and I love it. I do know people ask me all the time because I moved here from Georgia, from the Athens area, but a lot of positive things came from me moving out here and stuff. I moved from Illinois to Georgia and did 13 years in Georgia. Loved it. Don't take me wrong. I love Georgia. I'm still a Georgia girl. There's certain things when I get riled up. My husband says there is no doubt about it that I am a Georgia girl. I get a little bit of an accent. I get a little twangy, whatever you want to call it. Certain things I cook, certain things I do is very Midwestern or Southern. So I know a lot of my friends out here in Wyoming and such get a kick out of it. They're always waiting for something funny to drop or something. So, but this is kind of going to be a little bit about me, about how I got to here, I guess is the best way to say it. And like I said, if I'm not looking directly at the camera, it's because I'm driving. I am on, like I said, Interstate 80. It's about 75 miles an hour. Beautiful skies. Yesterday, I thought about recording, and it was rainy, yucky, and really needed to be focused because of hydroplaning and people slamming on brakes and sliding into stuff. So the drive from Denver up to Cheyenne wasn't too bad. It was better this week than last week when the kids had a board meeting, and I took them down to Estes Park, Colorado. And as we were leaving Estes Park and heading north, we ran into a hailstorm. So that kind of, head for under the covered thing, because the hail here can get really big and do a lot of damage. I mean, I've seen it shatter windshields and stuff, and the damage it does to vehicles. So the kids kind of laughed because I was like, we stopped at the gas station, kind of just like parked underneath the awning and stuff until it stopped. It didn't last very long, thank goodness. But it was, it's one of those experiences that the kids, the teenagers, experience, and then it's like, okay, this is what we should do if it happens. So that was one of those situations. Something funny, something not funny, but things for them to experience and know what to do properly. I mean, you can tell them all the time, but when they see it in action, it kind of gives them that boost to do stuff. Wyoming. So, 2010, let's get a little history. The economy was having a really rough time in Georgia. I was leaving at 5 or 6 in the morning to go to work and not getting home until sometimes 9 o'clock at night. I have a young lady. My youngest daughter was in junior high. My high school daughter went to live with her dad because I was working so much to keep to keep us in our house. So she wanted to come back home, and I wanted to make sure that I had more time for her. She was in high school, she was 16, and I wanted to make sure I was there for her. Well, my best friend, Adam, was out here doing a job. They'd asked him to come out here, and he really liked it out here. He's not out here anymore, but he was out here for quite a while. So he talked me into moving the girls and I out to Wyoming. So here's the funny part. We did it over Christmas break. Both girls were at their dad's. The youngest was at her dad's So here's the thing about Georgia. Most moving trucks in Georgia do not, they're diesels, which, okay, but they do not have the plug-in to keep the diesel from gelling when it's somewhere other than Georgia you're moving to. I was very specific when I asked them if they had a plug-in or if it had, you know, the heating coil to keep the diesel from gelling. They looked confused and they said, oh, I'm sure it does. It didn't. So we get up to Illinois. My parents live, my mom and my stepdad and my most of my siblings. I have one sibling still in Georgia and I have two siblings up in Illinois. We're up there, and of course I'm moving my cat and my dog, Freckles and Brady. This is a 28-pound cat and this is a Dalmatian. And it was very stressful for them, and I felt so bad because the boys were my babies. So we're at the farmhouse. My mom has a dog that is I don't want to say cat killer, but doesn't like anything on four legs other than dogs, birds, cats, raccoons, squirrels, anything Brandy would kill. It's just how he was raised. He was very sequestered. He was kept in a kennel before my mom and them got him. He was very neglected in a sense, sensitive. They let the person before my parents let the kid, like the dog would walk and the kid would hold his tail and broke part of his tail with like on a skateboard or something, and then he was kept in a run outside. So he was pretty his mental issues were stuff that we adjusted to. But him and Freckles seemed to get along, so it was fine. Freckles was not aggressive. He was a very submissive dog. More beta. Too much information. Anyway, so we're up at the farm in Illinois. This is between Christmas and New Year's. It's yucky weather, cold weather, very cold weather. So the vehicle gels. Like, we can't start it, we can't get it to work, nothing. So we have to basically pull it into the one of the shops, the farm shops, put a heater blower on it to get it professional, because there is nothing to plug it into. This is a non-winter climate moving truck. So there's one issue. So Adam's from the South. Adam's from South Carolina. He's used to the swamps, the humidity, which Illinois has humidity and everything else. Humidity is a little different because when winter comes, the humidity, I mean, it literally freezes your blood, your bone-chilling cold and stuff. The funny part, and this is what I got such a kick out of, so Adam went to help my stepdad with the farm, with some chores and stuff. Thought, you know, he'd been in Wyoming. He could handle Illinois. Well, Illinois is a dry climate where we live. There's almost no humidity. And I warned him. So he went out, helped my stepdad, and Adam's gonna shoot me that I said this. So then he gets back, that poor man is frozen. He can't leave the bed the rest of the day because he's so cold. And I mean, they gave him a Carhartt to wear. It's not like we sent him out there in his skivvies. He had a Carhartt and all this, and he froze. He froze from the inside out, and it took him all day literally to warm up. So I felt so bad for him stuff. So, you know, we're moving, like I said, my household, and we're picking up the girls because I have to pick up the girls January 1st from their dads. So we go to pick them up, and then we have till January 3rd to get from Illinois to this place in Wyoming. It's all the way across Wyoming. So of course we have my car, the moving truck, the animals. Freckles is a Dalmatian. He sheds. He's white fur, so it's like everywhere. Adam's just kind of having a fit. So he's got, like, I think Susan, my youngest, is with him. My oldest is with me. Freckles is in the moving truck. Brady's in his carrier in the car. Now, Brady is not happy, and he has voiced his complaints consistently, unless I let him out of the carrier and he's in my lap while I'm driving, which is not a safe thing to do. One, he's a big cat. He cuts the circulation off of my legs, sitting like that and stuff. But I have been around Brady, and I have been together since Brady was born. So, poor Brady. He's not happy. He's in the carrier. Well, Adam decides that he needs to switch out animals because the fur is driving him nuts. Because Freckles is stressing. He's in a moving truck. He's in the floorboards of the moving truck. And, I mean, Freckles is just curled up in a little ball, but he just, this is huge for him. He lived in Georgia all his life, as far as I know. So we're moving him out to Wyoming. He's like in a hotel room, which I think was one of his first experiences. And then he's at a farmhouse, strange farmhouse, not his thing either. And we had a big carrier for him, so it's not like big kennel. So we have an extra, like a St. Bernard kennel for this Dalmatian. He wasn't young then. He was getting older. Brady was getting older. But anyway, so we switched. I've tried to explain to Adam that Brady is not happy about being in the carrier and he is going to complain. So we've actually gotten to Wyoming at this point. So here's the thing traveling too, because we're in this weather. Every 2 hours, one of us has to get up and start the truck to make sure it doesn't gel, even one every hour, and kind of run it for a while. What I didn't know was Adam was also turning my car on and doing that. So it was going from warm to cold, warm to cold, warm to cold. So he cracked the hoses in my radiator in my car. We didn't catch until I think we were in Laramie, which we're not quite in Laramie yet, on this trip that I'm going home. But anyway, I didn't know that he had done this until later. And he was like, he kept warming up the car so we wouldn't have issues. My car was made for that weather. I bought it originally. It had been in Illinois numerous times. I'm the only one that ever owned the car, so I knew it could handle this weather. He did not. He was trying to be helpful. Don't get me wrong. He was trying to be helpful. So it was a situation. It was just what it was. So I don't think it was 20 minutes of us driving where he is calling and saying, pull over, pull over, pull over, because Brady is driving him insane, because Brady is yowling consistently and not stopping. Like, he thought after 10 minutes Brady would chill. Brady wasn't chilling. Brady wasn't chilling at all. He was not happy. He'd been in this vehicle for way too long and in his carrier way too long. We literally, I think we left 2 days after Christmas from Georgia, drove up to Illinois, and then, crossed, and like I said, we left early in the morning, so we went through Iowa, and I think we stayed over in Nebraska. Which that's also something interesting on the interstate. There doesn't seem to be any hotels would, I mean, I'm not saying he wouldn't settle down once in a while, but it would take, but as soon as if you talked or something, he would start letting you know that he was not happy. So if there was a moment of silence and no talking, after a couple hours of crying, he would be quiet. So like from moving from Georgia up to Illinois, he was in the vehicle with me, and Freckles was in the vehicle with me. I'm pretty sure. Most of the time. He was chill. But once my oldest was in the vehicle with me, and we're talking about stuff and discussing school and driving, and you know, she's 16. No, she just turned. No, she's 16. She just turned 16 and stuff. I was like, was she 17? No, she was 16. You know, all this stuff that, you know, was going on with her, catching up with her, and I mean, just things that she wanted to talk about on this trip that she needed to talk about because she made the choice, instead of living with her dad, she was coming to live back with me. She'd live with me, and then the problem was is I worked a lot to take care of the girls, and so she went to live with her dad because the one parent, one child thing was something she was really craving, which, you know, I wish I had that, you know, thing to be able to do for her. I didn't at the time. Wyoming was supposed to free up time, and it did. I got to enjoy so much stuff with my kids in Wyoming, and this is such a random chat. So I'm coming to Wyoming, we came, and it was covered in snow, and we rented a house, talked to the lady, got it all worked out from Georgia there, found a nice little, basically 4-bedroom house. A split level, which I don't like, but neither here. And everybody was like, oh, it's got a yard, it's got a big backyard. Okay, so I'm from farm country, Illinois, and Georgia, and a yard is a yard, you know, not figuratively a yardstick. So I go through the house, go to the back of the house, and it's like the size of a dog run to me. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, you have a big yard. For being Wyoming, open ranges and stuff, the thing I get a kick out of is because the way the houses are and the cities are built up, people do not have yards that I'm used to. Like, I'm used to, like, yards. I don't know how else to verbalize this. It was funny. But no, it freed me up. I was teaching at a quilt shop, so I taught at a quilt shop and stuff. If you don't know about me, I've been in retail for probably about almost 30 years. It's my comfort zone. I went to school for other stuff. I went to school to be a paralegal, business accounting, marketing, and sales. All that, and I went back to retail. Retail, when I went down to Georgia, I was going through the divorce, and Amazon Prime truck broke down on the side of the road. That's not good. People aren't going to get their shipments on time. I went down there, and I actually just went to go see my grandparents and spend some time with them because I needed just to clear my mind. I didn't go back to Illinois. It was the longest vacation ever. I was supposed to be there for like a month, and my vacation turned into 13 years. But I loved it. The experience, the figuring out who I was. And at 22, you think you know who you are, and at that point, you are who you are there. But the evolution of your 20s and your 30s and your 40s and responsibility, and when you look in the mirror, when I was 22, unfortunately, my self-worth wasn't a whole lot. I couldn't look in the mirror and I didn't like myself. I needed someone to like me, for me to like me. And that's not a good avenue. It's not a healthy avenue. So it was a true issue that I had, and I woke up. I was dating a guy that was he kind of preyed, in a sense. It was almost like preyed on me and stuff because I was in a not good place of self-worth when I was going through my divorce, and he made me feel great, and children. And when you're in your 20s and you're like, I'm not having any more children, I'm done. It's a talk. It's, you know. So I got out of this relationship that was not good, wasn't healthy, I had a lot of self-worth issues at this point. I literally walked in the bathroom, I looked in the mirror, and I was like, until I love myself, I am not going to have a relationship or date someone. So I did. I chose to be celibate. I made choices in my life that I know some people laugh about, but I made it because of my daughters, and I didn't want them to go through what I went through. I wanted them to have an example, to have someone, you know. It's kind of hard to preach it if you're not practicing it. So it was there. The good thing is I had some great friends. Made a lot of great friends from guys that I dated and then it wasn't there. And I'm kind of like the waste not, want not. So it's like, you know, in a couple dates that you're not going to get serious with that person. I ended it. I mean, I had friends. My friend Mike. It was a joke. He would not learn guys' names if they came with me into an event with a group of friends all hung out. He's like, first date, okay, maybe, but chances are you're not gonna make it past third date. So he really just didn't learn their names, and he was very honest and upfront about it. It's like, if you don't, you know, if you last more than 3 months, then I'll learn your name. And with my schedule, sometimes 3 dates took 3 months because my kids were my focus, and making sure I could take care of them was my focus. So, work. I wanted to make sure my kids were in private school, which is not cheap, because I wanted them to have the best education. I wanted them to succeed. I've always wanted them to succeed, and I want them to be who they are. My kids are, and everybody can say this, your kids are all individuals. My two are yin and yang. One is a Libra, one is a Leo, and they are opposites of the spectrum, which is good and bad. So, but I made choices, and in a sense, I didn't pull any punches with that, because my choices were, here we go. You know, if I didn't see, it's like, you know, it was over, and that's just how it was. I don't know how else to word it. So, okay, so we are almost into Laramie, from Cheyenne to Laramie, so I'm going to stop this part of the video. And so we can do it in parts. I guess my trip home, part 1, part 2, part 3, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to do this in parts, so I don't bore you all to death, which just might be boring. I don't know. This is just my life, my trip. Put the cruise back on. Duh. So I will see you in part 2.